This video is sponsored by IOU, the International Open University, an online university offering a vast range of courses including Arabic, Islamic studies, and much more. All courses are compliant with Quran and Sunnah, which means you no longer need to make sacrifices in your deen to get a degree. You learn directly from the experts at any time and from any place. Forget about crazy university fees. IOU makes education affordable. Register before September the 1st and get an exclusive 10% discount. Link is in the description box below.
Moving on to the empowered life. Whether you are a person or were a person who ascribed to this thug life, or whether you were, like the majority of us, a normal Muslim, but perhaps a little bit too normal, and you feel that your life has been by and large characterized by lowly, mundane, petty, day-to-day routine-like behavior, and you want to do more with your life. What is the empowered life? A life of proactivity, a life of vision setting, a life of meeting Allah, and you are confident to say, I carried out my function as a Muslim human being in the life of dunya, the empowered life. If you want to move out from the confines of misery to happiness, and laziness to proactivity, and a meaningless life to a life of meaning and value and achievement, I say to you, place your reliance upon Allah and apply the 1000th principle. What is the 1000th principle? There was an academic in the field of leadership studies. His name is Cop Meyer, and he authored 4 books on the topic of success, and each one of those books has within it 250 principles of success. Then he was once asked the question during an interview, which one of these principles in your estimation is the most important? He said, all of the 999 principles that I have included are absolutely useless if this one principle is not present in your life. It's the principle that says, do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. If you feel that your life is characterized by laziness, or too much sleep, too much socializing, moving from one room to the other room in your house, looking for someone to talk to, looking for something to do, looking for something on social media to consume, and you're not really achieving what you feel you could be achieving as a Muslim, you're not a person of growth. I share with you 5 very simple principles. Take note of these 5 headings, and then when you're finished, put them in a place in your life when you can see them. And I promise you, you will begin to see changes in your life and you will see results. What are these 5 principles? Principle number 1, put an end to excuses. No more justifications. People are very creative, la ilaha illallah, when it comes to giving themselves excuses to wiggle out of difficult situations and to prove to people why they were inactive and why they haven't sacrificed, why they haven't attended, why they haven't learned, why they haven't planned. My dear brother, my dear sister, it is impossible for you to lead a successful, an empowered, and an accomplished life if you are giving yourself excuses. It can't happen. No more blaming your circumstance, no more blaming the inactive masjid, no more blaming the streets, no more blaming social media, no more blaming your family. Put an end to excuses. This is rule number 1. Excuses are walls that weak people hide behind. It is a temporary painkiller that they take in order to mask an internal pain, to convince others, and worse still, to convince themselves why they aren't doing anything with their lives as Muslims. And so if you find yourself, my dear brother, my dear sister, always explaining away why you couldn't do something, shouldn't do something, wouldn't do something, hadn't done something, then realize you are upon a slippery slope of failure. So pack your bags and leave the giving of excuses and justification. And now take with me principle number 2. What you do today is an illustration of who you shall be tomorrow. There has to be activity today. The person you are going to be in the future, if you are interested to know who he or she is and what they look like, I say to you, all you need to do is look into the decisions you are making today, because that will be the person you shall be tomorrow. So create a vision. What does your future look like? It looks like the decisions you are making today. What are they? Principle number 3, aim high, because the lower levels are congested with people. The issue is that most of us aim at nothing in our lives and we hit that target with amazing accuracy. We receive nothing in the end. What is your target? Aim high. As a Muslim, you have every reason to aim high when you know that this life is not the end, but death is just the beginning. And I love here the words of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz rahimahullah, who said, I have a restless soul. Every time I achieve something in my life, I find my soul yearning for what is above it. And then he gives examples. He said, I set myself a goal of marrying my cousin Fatima bint Abdul Malik, and I married her. Then I set myself a higher target of reaching a position of political authority, and I achieved it. And then I set myself a higher target of becoming the greatest political authority of the Muslims, the Khalifa, and he became the Khalifa. And he said, as for now, my soul is yearning for Jannah. Allahu Akbar. And I hope Allah will make me amongst His people. Principle number 4, most people search for what is easy. The giants, however, they search for a challenge. An Arab Bedouin came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he pledged allegiance to him, and he took his shahada, became a Muslim. And then a few days or weeks later, the booty of war was distributed between the Muslims, and they came to this Bedouin and they said, this is your booty. He said, what is this? They said, this is your portion of the booty of war. He didn't like this. So he carried all of it and he brought it to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said, what is this? He said, this is your portion of the booty of war. He said, I didn't become a Muslim in search for this, but why I followed you was in the hope of receiving an arrow here in my throat, causing me to die, and thus Allah will allow me to enter Jannah. Amazing aspirations. This is what he wanted. Shahada, martyrdom. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, if you are true to Allah, Allah will be true to you. If this is your intention and it is pure, Allah will help you fulfill it. Not long after this, the Muslims found themselves in the heart of a battle. And when the dust had settled, they began to search for who was dead and who was alive, and they found this man on his back. He had become a corpse with an arrow coming out of his neck. They called the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said, Messenger of Allah, look at this. And so he went to his knees and he said, is it the same one? Is it him? They said, yes, it's him. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam wept. He was true to Allah, so Allah was true to him. He carried him on his forearms and he lifted him. And they shrouded him. And they prayed the prayer of janazah upon him. And they heard the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam making a dua to Allah for this righteous man. He said, oh Allah, this servant of yours, he migrated to Medina in search for your pleasure, and he was killed as a martyr in your path. I am a witness for him, O Allah. I witness for him, O Allah. Most people search for what is easy. The greats, they search for a challenge. And this is the attribute I hope you will define yourself with, dear brother, dear sister. Growth cannot happen only in a state of discomfort. The moment you choose to sleep instead of going for a run, for example, or going to the gym, you have chosen comfort. Temporary, immediate comfort, but not for long. because discomfort will catch up with you sooner or later. The moment you press your snooze button on your phone to delay Salatul Fajr, and you're praying at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock when the sun is fully risen, you've chosen comfort. But not for long, because if tawbah is not met, there will be discomfort eventually that will catch up. A sister of ours who's maybe struggling with her hijab, either she's not wearing it or it's a hijab but she knows it's not really a hijab, she has chosen comfort, but not for long, because discomfort will follow if this isn't changed. So make a plan to come out of your comfort zone. Most people, they search for what is easy, but the giants, they search for a challenge. So make a plan to come out of the comfort zone. Make the phone calls. Make those connections with those righteous brothers and sisters. If it's a sin that apparently gives you peace and comfort, make your plan to come out of that comfort. A certain hijab that you are abusing, it's giving you comfort, make a plan out of that comfort. A business transaction that's bringing you high returns, but you know it's a shady business deal, make a plan to come out of that comfort. The fifth one is never say that you have missed the opportunity. Never say it's too late. As cliche as that may sound, if we are able to summarize life with one word, that word would probably be continue. Plow on. Keep going. Never say that you have missed the boat, because as long as your eyes are yet to fall on the face of the angel of death, realize it's still a free-for-all. As-Siddiq Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu becomes the most eminent and scholarly figure in our Muslim heritage. After the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he is first place, and he only started at the age of 40. It was around that age when he became a Muslim. And then you have the likes of Imam Ibn al-Jawzi Abu al-Faraj. He mastered the 10 modes of recitation when he was 80 years old. How can you say you've missed the opportunity? And Imam al-Bukhari, he said the companions of the Prophet ﷺ only learned their religion when they were older. In conclusion, brothers and sisters, do what you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. And realize whenever you get lazy, there is a bitter reality. And that reality states that there is a pain that you and I have to experience whether we like it or not. You choose which of the two, but there's no third option. You have to experience one or the other. The first pain is the pain of sacrifice and waking up early and vision setting and growth, discomfort. Either you choose that pain or you have automatically chosen the other pain if you don't, and that is the pain of regret and sadness and misery for not being the best version of yourself as a believer. We ask Allah Jalla Jalaluhu to guide us to the best of those two decisions. Sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad. Alhamdulillah.